Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent big ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host and running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me back. It's so good to do this. It's so good to be here. It is a week where I have brought something to the table, and one of the things oddly lacking in our space, well, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know. Well, one of our favorite genres of film to watch mutually is comedies.
Yes.
And we don't throw up a whole lot of comedies, and I feel like that's because comedies are very hard to watch later.
Yeah.
Like they're very hard to stand the test of time. And so I had this one in my back pocket and wasn't sure about it, and I don't know. I wanted to have the talk about it and see where we came up with, because you can't not love the star of this film. He's slowly becoming like America's dad in his old age kind of thing, and America's rock dad. This week I brought in 2003's School of Rock. After being kicked out of his rock band, Dewey Finn becomes a substitute teacher of an uptight elementary private school, only to try and turn his class into a rock band. This is a studio comedy, basically made for the sensibilities of the leading actor Jack Black, in the vein of this is when Jack Black was that dude where like Jim Carrey got movies made for Jim Carrey. Will Ferrell got movies made for Will Ferrell. Jack Black had this little slice of life where he got comedies made directly for funny, like how can we create scenarios where Jack Black is doing great Jack Black things. So that's why I wanted to throw that. I kind of already said why I wanted to bring this to the table.
Mm-hmm.
What were you expecting? Why hadn't you seen this?
All right, so I had not seen this when it came out. You're exactly right. It was the Jack Black time. Jack Black. I'm not sure. I don't want to say I was burnt out on Jack Black, because this is still early 2000s, so it's not like I watched a lot of movies then anyway. But something.
Yeah, this is kind of the start of him being able to get his own movies.
Yeah.
Like we will definitely get burned out when it gets to like Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
Kind of time
Gulliver's
period.
Travels.
That's the end of his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also was a late bloomer with my Jack Black fandom. I missed the early part of the wave, like when Tenacious D was up and coming, if you will. I missed that. I came in after, I think it might have been you that made me watch The Pick of Destiny. And I'm
a big Tenacious D fan.
Yeah, and nowadays I like Tenacious D, but again, back in the past, I wasn't so much. So I kind of missed the initial wave. And full disclosure, this movie had been on in the background at work once, but I didn't pay nearly enough attention to it. The only thing I knew is that he pretended to be the other guy, and that's how he became a teacher. The rest of it, I missed any other plot points. So I just hadn't really watched it, but when it comes to what I was expecting, much like you said, a movie made the same vibe I got from it when they had the trailers. Hey, you want to see Jack Black be Jack Black and up to Jack Black shenanigans? Watch School of Rock. And And so that's what I was expecting, just Jack Black shenanigans, and hopefully in a tolerable fashion where I don't get burnt out on it. Because I wasn't sure when this came out in the timeline, but I know eventually, like you said, Gulliver Travels and stuff, around then it's like, okay. But I like that he had that low period where you don't really see him for a while, and now he's back, and kind of like Jim Carrey when you mentioned him, where it's nostalgic to see him doing the Jack Black things that people got so annoyed with him doing before.
Right.
So that's cool. But yeah, I was just expecting some classic Jack Blackness in only a fashion that he could really do. Yeah, and getting right into it with the initial reactions and stuff, the instrumental for the very, very opening song, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this song. And then they kind of started talking, instrumentally at least. But, they're playing on the stage, and sure enough, Jack Black is Jack Blacking, just going way over the top with his bandmates. At first I thought his bandmates were cool with it, because they're used to it, yeah, this is just what we do. And then, near the end, you start seeing the, side eye from the lead singer of the band, this over here. And sure enough, they break up, and I'm like, I see. Okay. And Sarah, and you meet the roommate, and the roommate's girlfriend, played by Sarah Silverman. And she just...
Which is the role that made her, quit acting for a good while.
Really?
Because she was like, all right, so I'm because apparently this was just the last in a long string of getting cast in and only being asked to audition for the worst women in the world.
I was just about to say,
she's always somebody's girlfriend who has to have a monologue that is bitching that dude out. That's what she kept seeing all the time, and this was kind of her push away from that, refocus on stand up and being a lot more specific about the things she's saying yes to, and kind of, I'm gonna create my own stuff, like the Sarah Silverman show.
Yeah, because she definitely, like you said, played that, and to her point and yours, that's all I really know her as character-wise in anything. She usually just plays that archetype of character. And I'm like, oh boy, aren't you just not one of the best people on the planet right now?
You are so not fun. And it, none of the things she's saying are wrong necessarily. She's not a bad person because she wants her boyfriend to not have to pay the rent of some random dude. And that kind of shit. And maybe, at this point, she probably wants her own place with her boyfriend. And then, Jack Black is a slob who lives in their living room, who doesn't have a job, there's a lot of points that woman has.
Very much so.
But boy, is she zero fun. We get to see her be zero amount of fun.
But the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
The audience is not shown a good side of her at all.
She does make a lot of good points, but heels often do make a lot of good points, but you don't want to hear them, and so they're heels.
Hashtag Thanos was right.
Yeah, to an extent. But yes, so there's that whole little introductory, and he does the thing where he meets up with the class, and for a second I'm just kind of coasting along with the movie, just okay, this is cool or whatever. Oh, he's meeting the students and stuff. That was a nice little, albeit a repeated thing in these kind of movies, like your Sister Act 2s and your other things where it's, hey, here's a class of kids that don't really get along with the teacher. But we're gonna get them together through music and become one big happy family. It's like the inverse of Sister Act 2, whereas this was a class of where Sister Act 2 was a class of rowdy students that had to be taught, manners and being nice by the teacher through music. It's the other way around. Well behaved, whatever students that got to that learned how to loosen up because of the teacher.
Which is why I agree with you so much that I'm even doubling down and saying it is sharing the tone of both Sister Act films, because what you just described is the tone and plot of the first Sister Act. I realized it in this watching, this has so much of the same energy, and not just the plot, but like the same energy as the Sister Act movies. One thing, and I knew I was going to notice it more because there had been some memes over the last year or two that I've seen about this movie, that have pointed out the fact that basically once you get past the Jack Black's, the Dewey doing selfish shit for Dewey's purposes things, once you get past that, this is basically like 85 minutes of just Jack Black unconditionally hyping up children.
Yeah.
And feeding them nothing but positivity, and just saying yes to everything that they care about and dream about or think, listening to them. It's super positive in tone, and just gives you those good vibes, just like one of my favorite movie series of all time, Sister Act and Sister Act 2, which we've joked about a bunch of times. That's one of those that I like. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I wish is one that we could bring on like someday, when we're in like year 4 of this, we're gonna do a series of just like movies we wish we could talk about on here, but the format doesn't allow us to.
We start bringing on guests that haven't seen what we're showing.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so that was nice. And like you said, the unconditional, he's so adverse to he seems adverse to kids and the idea of being around them early on, but clearly the second he found in to talk about and stuff, a topic with which he could share, like music, suddenly he's a natural. He's very well, with the kids. He's really good at catering to each kid's interest and needs and stuff. Certain kids that didn't seem like they'd be doing a lot with the music, he found other things to do, like Billy's, you do the outfits and stuff like that. You got the other girls that were like, hey, come up with a name for the band and a theme for us. Miranda Cosgrove, you are such a little,
plays her like a fiddle.
You are such a little what you are.
Yeah.
Boy, are you gonna grow up to be a
let's be real. Insanely incredible performance from a fucking 6-year-old Miranda Cosgrove. How old is she in this movie? She looks so tiny. She looks like a little baby.
Yeah.
But she is so good at this movie, playing that person.
Yeah.
Playing the teacher's pet, snot-nosed little brat.
Yeah,
know it all.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's I hate you, but I can't help but smile because
you hate her, just Sarah Silverman too. You hate them because they're doing a good. It's like a great heel in wrestling.
Well, that's
you hate them because they are doing their job.
Well, and did you hear me earlier? I was like, yeah, boy, are you going to grow up to be a Sarah Silverman type cast.
Yeah.
But no, and I did like it when he actually started listening to her, because she started having things like, hey, I got plans to do so and so. When she said, you know what, screw the goody two-shoes stuff. We're trying to do this music thing, so I'm going to tell you to go and lie and say that we're sick kids. so like that. The fact that was her
talk
idea.
about a standout moment. That's hilarious, and completely forgot what the reveal joke was going to be on that when she's like, I've got an idea, and then it just cuts to Jack Black apologizing, and then we turn the camera and they're all like laying on the side of the street. That was a good one. That was good. I forgot to mention the opening. Normally I go over the writer and director, which is weird for this one in particular. I know I've known this before, but forgot it and didn't remember it until now. This film is directed by Richard Linklater, who is a very prominent artistic American director who has done a lot of great things and nominated for Academy Awards and has won Academy Awards. And he most recently, you would know him from Boyhood, that film where the film where they took 20 years to film it. Are you not aware of that one?
No.
They well, I guess that's not really that recent. That was in 2014. Yeah, Boyhood. Maybe we'll cover it here someday. But the thing about Boyhood is he slowly made it over the course of 20 years. He casts 3 actors: a son, a dad, and a mom. And they met for like 1 month a year, every year, for like 20 years. And you see this kid grow in this film. Like, he ages and you see his entire childhood.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, he's just a very interesting, great director. And I think that is something that, not to spoil my final thoughts or anything like that, but throughout the course of this of watching, I was like, oh, okay, so yes, this is a Jack Black joint, and Jack Black is doing his Jack Black things, but this is a good movie, for me, and I think that's the Richard Linklater hand in this. In any other scenario, this would just be some random director that the studio grabbed to throw onto the project, and really Jack Black is kind of running the show, and like, but like, the moment where he is going through the very first time he's meeting the band, or he's creating the band, and he's pulling up Zach and he's throwing him on a guitar and he's like, do this. One shot. It's a one-shot moment. It's all happening in real time. Same thing with the writing of their very first song, the "I Am Really Pissed Off." Both of those moments are single shot where the camera moves and goes in and comes back out with Jack Black's energy. All really cool things that could have just been very standardized.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of interesting touches in there. Yeah.
I will say because we've mentioned times before, I usually like to keep a lot of notes. This is one of my least kept notes of a thing. But one of the last things I typed was because I liked how, speaking of him like trying to figure out what all the kids can do, and he got to who can sing, and Miranda Cosgrove character like, I can sing. Oh, go ahead.
Memories all alone in the moonlight.
Oh my god! I was like, I am happy that Jack Black's character is as versed to memory from Cats as I am. because I talked to someone, because someone's asked me like, why do you not like that song from Cats? And I'm like, because I feel like it's every person in school who can't sing's go-to song to try and show that they can sing. So I only really have memories, if you will, of people singing it poorly. So I don't like the song. And the fact that that's the song the kid went to, and that they went with that take on it, I'm like, justification. I don't care what anyone says. That right there is proof of what I thought about that song. Now, Cats could be a good musical and stuff in and of its own. We're not here to talk about that. We're talking about School of Rock. I did like
Cats isn't good.
I did like when the kids like when they came up with the name of the band, School of Rock, because I was like, oh, it's that whole like, there's the title of the movie, but also it made a bit more. It helped. I don't know. I liked it as a name for a group of kids from school.
No, yeah, and the graphic that the kids made was really cool.
That one kid, which when Jack Black talking about like all the stuff the kids did, and then he's like, your kid made a like 3-minute freaking graphical presentation to line up with the song that we were playing. That's amazing. Like, you're telling your kids not to do stuff. He can do this at this age. That's ridiculous.
Got better production value than we do.
Right?
And they're in 2003.
It's just like, so a lot of the stuff the kids do. I liked Zach's little arc throughout the thing.
Is that the drummer?
I think Zach's
the
no,
guitarist. that's the lead guitarist. Yeah. His dad's a little aggressive.
Yeah, aggressively, strict. No guitar in the house. You gotta get this thing gone or whatever. And I liked Jack Black still getting him to accept that. The one black girl, the big black girl who sang, I forget her name. I'm sorry, but
I can tell you that Jack Black's character nicknames are Turkey Sub before he remembers her name, because he got a turkey sub out of her desk.
Okay, I'm gonna say, because she gave him a turkey sub, not necessarily Tamika. Yeah, Tamika. That was cool with her and the whole singing thing, and I kind of expected her to be a good singer, especially the second she came up all shy, like, I'd like to sing. I'm like, oh no, she got a powerful voice.
She about to knock it back.
I had brought that up. I had brought that conversation up with a friend the other day about like those kind of powerful voices from those individuals. It just works. It's like they can sing. That helps out a lot, and she could sing really well. I just like the class as a whole. The one kid, the drummer kid, did crack me up though. Now that you mentioned it, because he just went full in on the whole thing. He heard about punk music. He's like, "That's what I want to be. I'm gonna start spiking my
That's
hair."
my new life.
Yeah. We have this secret music class. I don't care. I'm going around punked out. And he seemed so happy when the dude told him, like, can anyone play the drums? He's like, I kind of do percussion. You don't do anything. And then he gets to do the drums, and just the, like, sense of satisfaction with Jack Black's like, yeah, you can do it. I think in that moment, anything Jack Black told him to do, he was gonna be like, yeah, punk rock. You say I'm a drummer. You say punk is my shit.
Yeah. Lawrence, the keyboardist, he's a lot of fun. Apparently that the aside that his character has with Jack Black's character in the cafeteria, where he's very nervous about being in the band because he's not cool, is almost a word for word pull from an exact conversation he had with the director Richard Linklater right before they started shooting. He was like, I don't think I can do this. I'm very nervous. I don't think I'm right for this. You should get somebody cooler. Some blah 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 blah. And then he's like, not only are you perfect for this movie, but this conversation is going in the movie.
It's like, I need other kids that think just like you to hear this message. And he's like, no, you're as cool as you want to be. And the plot of the movie, the principal, Miss Mullins,
Joan Cusack doing a lot of great work.
That's why she looked familiar. It's Joan Cusack.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's doing very Joan Cusack work. The pent up bottle preparing to burst, and then she has her burst scene. I feel like that's a very Joan Cusack role, and she does a great job at it. But yeah, go on. The principal.
I kind of liked what she was trying to go through the movie too. Like a lot of the arcs in this movie, like you could you can pinky out and be like, man, this ain't the first time you've seen shit like that. Okay, and it's still done well. And a lot of the like little different character arcs and stuff was all done well in this movie, and I just enjoyed it. And a lot of the points, like to see, I did think it was interesting, like how they try. A lot of the movie, Jack Black's character tries to go into it manipulating people, only to end up genuinely like caring about what's going on, like the kid,
and affecting them, like not manipulating them. I mean, he is manipulating. That's the thing, is that the running thread through this entire thing is there is a lot of malicious activity from Dewey Finn, the character of Jack Black. There's a lot of malicious activity. As I talked about with like when the movie's kind of heading towards its climax, and everybody's slowly starting to figure out as parent teacher night is ramping up. I turned to my wife and I'm like, other than the field trip, which is very obviously kidnapping. Like as it was happening, I was like, mass kidnapping. But other than the field trip, has he done anything illegal? He's obviously, there's a lot of bad shit that he's doing, improper shit, poor taste shit. You could make the argument that you've robbed these children of days worth of education time by doing whatever bullshit you're doing, even though it is cool rock music things. We're here appreciating it, but you could say, you know, this isn't what parents are paying the kids to go to school for. So all that, is there something illegal? And Jeb was immediately like, of course, fraud.
The identity fraud.
Fraud is occurring every day that he's there. But like, you know, the whole time he's performing very selfish acts, despite him caring for these kids and feeding these kids with tons of positive reinforcement and all of that. At the end of the day, all of that is done for survival purposes and for selfish desires.
Like it all was rooted in that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he had a lot of malicious intent to start, and a lot of his acts were selfish in nature. But over the course of the film, you can tell these kids stopped becoming a way for him to stick it to his former group members. Like, especially when it gets to that climax and he's like, you know what, we're doing Zach's song and everything rather than this whole the band is mine.
And honestly, and like really, he barely acknowledges the fact that that's his former group. Like, he's at one point he tells the kids to like, don't listen to these posers or whatever. But like, he doesn't even really acknowledge like, those are my guys, or those are my former bandmates. Like, they don't have a big come to Jesus moment where Jack Black's like, see, you kicked me out, now I rock hard with these guys, or because that's not important to the character anymore.
That's kind of like what I was saying.
I totally agree.
As it started, you could see him gradually care more and more about these, you know, the other people. He still was up to the negativity and stuff, but then like at the end, even when he tries to tell them going in, don't be nervous if you lose, when he breaks down for losing, the kids rather easily convince him to like, hey, we still did the thing on stage like you were telling us. And he's like, you know, you're right,
we did kick ass. Because the final number, their big competition number was fucking awesome. It rocked the house, and I don't know why they didn't win.
Right. And, well, even the fans in the audience in the movie.
Granted, at that point, it was now about 10% their parents.
But still, they kind of, that was a large. There was still a large enough amount of the audience cheering "School of Rock." Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Those kids should have won. Which, when you're in a competition that involves a popularity contest and kids are a contestant, if they're at least competent, you're fighting an uphill battle. Because it's like, wait, that's like a 8-year-old that's really good. Holy shit, what? No, you can't beat him. Let him keep going. We want to see how good the 8-year-old can do. So the fact that the kids, like the other people won and then immediately got booed, cracked me up. Just because I'm like, yeah, that's about realistically like, oh come on, you can't pick them over the kids.
Yeah.
Some kids are a cheat code. As long as they're competent, because if they go up there and they're all singing memory, then no, it's not going to end up well.
No.
But no, I did like the final show, and I like that he did straight up say this song was written by, as if it was that last "this isn't about me anymore" thing he needed. He made sure to tell the audience this song was written by our guitarist, this guy right here, and we're gonna sing the song. And he got Tamika involved where she could do her got to show off her voice and shit. So no, it was fun. It was very fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's see.
I was poking through the cast just to make sure we had covered all the bases. And I gotta mention Freddie, the drummer. Unfortunately got to pass a recent RIP out to him. 2021 was struck by a motor vehicle while bicycling. Died.
Damn.
Yeah, that sucks. But like, as you know, it's interesting that the only one that you really know is Miranda Cosgrove. That's the only one I'm looking through here, and that's the only one who really made it. And I would imagine the other kid, Miranda didn't have any part in the band. She was the band manager, and she had a ton of lines. But imagine Miranda was one of the few people in the group that was cast on acting first, and maybe the other kids were cast music first and then acting second. So I just think that's interesting that that then she's the only one that kind of gets out and does more acting as an adult. But yeah, I think we covered. And then interesting side note, Mike White, the actor who plays Jack Black's roommate through this, the person that Jack Black is impersonating, ends up becoming a big showrunner, show creator, and he is the creator, producer, showrunner of the series White Lotus that you may have heard in the news the last couple of years. It's a big giant show.
I believe I've heard.
That's kind of where his life ended up turning to.
Okay, yeah, because he looked familiar, but I didn't know what else he had been in. I didn't figure he'd been in a lot. He just had one of those kind of looks where I'm like, this guy. I feel like a lot of people in this movie play the characters they play in this movie a lot. Because I was about to say, he looked like he played that type of character in something else. Like, a lot of these people are just they were cast. Some, obviously, like Jack Black, the role was pretty much written for him.
It was literally written for him. The writer, Mike White, had the apartment across the hall from Jack Black for several years while they were both living in LA in their early part of their career. And yeah, he wrote this straight up for Jack.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
But yeah, I also like the little credit sequence where they just kind of is now School of Rock is an after school program thing for parents to teach. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. We agree.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah,
we agree that, and I like that touch story wise of just, okay, we agree that yes, our kids have some musical talent and we should let them do it. But you also have to fully agree that you can't be doing this and taking up their actual school time with it. So they can go after school to this and they're still having fun and recording, and then eventually start talking about the credits rolling. They're like, the movie is almost over. Exhale on the screen. Wait, what? I was not expecting that bit of fourth walling. I mean, it's the credits, so who cares? But I still wasn't expecting it. But it was nice. And hell, that might have also been a fucking. Now that you mentioned the like one shot, just chilling with folks.
Yeah, I think that might have been. That might have. I mean, it's in a lot of ways when you're doing a song, it's easier.
True.
In some ways, it's easier because you don't have to worry about sync points at all. As somebody who has edited music before, a one take music video is always a lot easier to do for somebody than a not one take music video.
Also true. I could see that. But yeah, that's the movie. You got anything else you want to touch on from the movie?
No, yeah, I enjoyed it. I've been a big Jack Black fan most of my life, and I just hadn't revisited this one in a long time. Is it as you described, like is it one of those where it's like, all right, the Jack Black bit is really all the movie is, and it's going to get old after about a half hour? But no, I was pleasantly surprised that it was really enjoyable for me this round. What are your final thoughts?
I've kind of leaked it a lot throughout. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film, and while quote like I said, quote unquote cliched at times, it didn't hurt it for me. I enjoyed it. I knew where a lot of those things were going to happen. It's like, oh, the second he's pretending to be the other guy, you're going to have that blow up moment later. And Sarah Silverman's probably going to be involved with how she is, just the character wise. But that just comes from watching a lot of movies. Anybody would do the same. However, everything it does right, there's different shots, like you said, the good touches it has, this and there. But hey, this is, a continuous shot that has the zoom ins and outs, so you don't really realize it's as continuous as it is. I don't know if I'm getting it right, but the bottom line is, I enjoyed it, and there was a lot that they did right in this film. It's a fun time. I suggest anybody give it a shot. This is a nice, fun time. The Jack Black was not as overwhelming as as we both mentioned numerous times, the fear of. It was just the right amount. It was, this is why we like this guy.
Speaking of a fun time, I think you have a fun time for us next week, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No one's going to be mad. Or maybe you might be mad, because you are going to get served. That's right. We're watching You Got Served, a movie from that time. And from a different
I got served
around that time. You Got Served is the movie we're gonna watch. We'll see how it compares to School of Rock. School of Rock's better, but we're gonna watch it anyway.
You know who's gonna get served.
Oh, who?
Do you know who's gonna get served?
I have an idea. Well, yeah, in the description, find other places you can watch me. I think we got the message across. Y'all know who's gonna get served. Have a good one. Adios.